All right, in this video, we're looking at how to style the cutouts. Okay, so on the pages, if you guys look and kind of analyze the design of the photographs, you'll see that there's some full frame photos in frames themselves, sometimes separately with a little paper background too. But then we have these cutouts. Okay, so what you guys are going to want to find are like the best action shots that you guys can cut out really clearly. Now the first thing you guys are going to want to do is use that select and mask. Hopefully you guys are pretty good about that right now, and or using a layer mask to kind of fine tune the edges, make sure they're like really clean. But then we're going to add in this choppy look, like it's been cut out of a magazine, and adding a paper texture on top. That part will be really easy. So the hard part is making sure you got a clean cutout, especially around hair and stuff like that. Okay. You'll see action shots, and then on the pages as well, there's two articles. Okay. One is the season recap. The other is like a profile about a player. Okay. And so in the folders, you'll start seeing these headshots pop up. These should go next to those articles, and you kind of have to match them up with the person's name and the article. And the article, the person's name should be under the writing in the documents section. All right. So on those, what I've been doing is just like some kind of clear white paper. Okay. But you guys can mix and match as you guys see fit. Okay. All right. So let's take a look. I'm going to switch over to the pages here, and just so you guys see this one too, just again, I got 3 action shots with purple. I even got these 2 girls hugging each other, which kind of fit that page right there. And then I got these 2 girls over here, you know, kind of dashing, running away down the sideline. And then I have 3 headshots. 2 of these are stories. So there's Izzy Palomino. She's kind of next to her story, along with a little action shot that I found with her as well. So just make sure those were kind of together. And I got Riley Bridges inside of the paper next to her story. And you can see most of these 2 are going to be cut off at the hip. So you have to kind of try to hide that as well. I just did that with the little torn paper and put her name there. With Izzy, I hid her behind the photo frames here. Okay. And then we have Delaney Mondino. Sometimes you'll see a little quote. And so same thing, cut out paper. And this one I just did like a little, I found this paper that I kind of cut down a little bit with that rough and fluff brush. And then added a little staple to kind of give it a, 3D effect with her quote and then her name on a piece of tape right next to it. Okay. All right. So let's switch here. Okay. Here's one of those headshots that are already cut out. You can see it's cut off at the hip there. You can kind of hide that down at the bottom of the page or put a piece of paper over it with just their name in front. Okay. So we're skipping a section here. This is obviously already cut out, but this is how we do that scissor look. Is we're going to add in a new layer right underneath, and we're going to go to the polygonal lasso. It's like the first tools up here. You guys have regular lasso, which is just kind of a pencil tool, and then you want polygonal. It's going to give us our geometric paper cut. Now you don't want to do like too many clicks all over. Okay. So we're going to hit escape to delete that. You just kind of, just as you would like maybe with the scissor, just really kind of, minimal cuts, just kind of around the head, kind of follow the body silhouette there, and just kind of go around here. Okay. Now you got to go all the way back, and you'll see a little circle. That means you're completing the shape. And once you do that, you'll see a selection. Now from there, you guys can pick any color, maybe color pick one of the colors you guys already did over here, or maybe it's slightly darker or lighter, or maybe something different. Okay. Maybe I'll just use kind of like a pinkish purple here. How about that? Okay. And I'm going to hit Option Delete. That's the shortcut key for the foreground fill color. Okay, and there we go. So right now it just looks pretty cartoony and flat. Okay, so the two things again, same thing with the brush, what we did in that previous tutorial, the cutout. We can add one of these Bracken paper textures. Okay, and that's the same one. Let me use something different so we can see the difference here. Let's go that one. It's a little same thing, but so what you'll see is, let me turn off the layer so you see what's going on here. Okay, so there it filled it in. And so to get that color back, same rules apply. We're going to hit multiply. And now if you guys look closely, you see some of the dimpled paper in there. And that could work too. Okay. And last thing, we're going to add that drop shadow again. Double click on the color layer, drop shadow. And there we go. We still got those same settings. You see just a little light drop shadow off and on. That's all you need. So I'll hit OK there. All right. And if you wanted to add, if you feel like, you know, it's not standing out as paper enough, you guys can go to your design assets and find a crumpled paper. Maybe I'll use this one. And you just got to make sure it's going to sit right on top of your color layer there. So I'll turn that one off. Okay, and so there it is, below the silhouette, the portrait, but above that polygonal lasso color fill that I did. Right click, clipping mask, and now it's there. Now that can look really cool just as paper alone, and that's what I did on these here. You can see if I zoom in closely, I found a crumpled paper and boom, done. Okay. But if you're designing and you feel like it's already on white paper and you want to add some color, again, blend modes, multiply, and then lower the opacity if you want to kind of lighten it up a little bit, allow some of that crumpled paper to show through or the color to show through a little bit more. Okay. And let's see, one last effect that we can have there too is if you go into the design assets, you should see some clear tape PNGs. This will also give it some additional texture. And is that clear? Oh, it's not too clear, but still looks okay. I'll even bring back that paper fill right there, and maybe let's lower the opacity a little bit. There we go. Lower the opacity. Now we got some clear tape. So we can kind of see the paper, both styles of paper there. Give it kind of a pasted in look, and that can look really cool. All right, last thing is you guys have these tape PNGs. There we go. And you guys can use, let's put that above. And you guys can use any type of torn paper, but this is what you can use to kind of hide the hips if you don't have any other elements, and even type their name in there. Now, if you wanted to add color to this, one last little step while we're on it is you guys can double click, go back to layer styles, hit color overlay, and you can see it's already got a blend mode of multiply in there, and boom, you guys can pick any color you want. Maybe color pick that same color here, hit OK. It's got opacity right below that. There's only a couple settings. Kind of lighten that up a little bit. It needs to be a little bit brighter because that color is blending in with that beige tape. Just kind of brighten it up a little bit, you know. And now you got some colored tape that you can use as well right there, and that will look pretty cool.